It is time to dive into these games. Rivalry weekend, final weekend of the regular season, massive stakes in a lot of these games. Let's start with Georgia Tech, clean, old-fashioned hate. I said this before, one of these teams is moving in one direction, the other team is moving in the other. I would say a month ago, this might have been the most interesting game of the weekend and most potential for chaos, a Georgia Tech win. But it's a lot less exciting after 2 losses and just really 3 poor performances. Georgia Tech is allowing an average of 510.7 yards per game in the last 3 games. Not how you want to play in November. You mentioned this earlier, Joshua, kind of wasting an all-time season from Haynes King. He has done so much for this team. Obviously, he's a huge part of the rushing attack, but he's been really, really good through the pass, through the air the last few weeks, has really stretched himself as a passer. But this just feels like it is going to be all Georgia. They're favored by almost 2 touchdowns. That feels right to me.
It feels right to me too. I've said this about Georgia. They feel like the biggest threat in college football to any of the teams that are sitting up there and just have kind of had the smooth season. I'm talking about Ohio State. I'm talking about Indiana. I'm talking about A&M. Like, I look at Georgia and I'm like, I want to play those guys. I don't think any of those teams want to see Georgia the way they're playing right now. And that's a bad thing for Tech because, as you mentioned, Tech is a team I'd want to see right now. Let me play Tech. Let me get my points up. It's going to be obviously wild. In what last year was the 8 overtime game.
Yes, last year.
Right. And so I know Georgia fans are very much the way that I am this week, where it's like, Georgia Tech, can't count them out, whatever the case is. Like, no, you're a better football team and you're playing better football right now. And there's no reason why this game has to be close. You put this in the notes. It's something that I mentioned on Saturday. I think we should talk about it real quick. But is this a spot where if Gunnar Stockton really balls out, and I'm talking about, he 75% completion and he throws for 4 touchdowns and he runs another one, is this a spot where we could see him maybe earn his way to New York City?
I think it's possible. I think that there's a couple people I would pencil in right now. I think I would pencil in Fernando Mendoza, Julian Sayin, and now Jeremiah Love. The nation has woken up and realized how good Jeremiah Love is. So those 3 feel like locks. I think between like Ty Simpson, Marcel Reed, Gunnar Stockton, we could get 2 of those guys. So I think that is possible. It would help too if Georgia ends up playing in the SEC championship game.
No doubt.
Joshua, here is a fun fact. The Heisman changed the timing of their ballot this year. So they sent an email out last night, Monday night, and they said, you're only going to have 48 hours to vote this year. So you used to get the ballot basically like with a week to vote. So you could vote before conference championship games ended. And now you can't because you'll get the ballot on Saturday evening.
Interesting.
So you really may have an advantage if you're playing that weekend just for, lasting impressions. Georgia needs Alabama or Texas A&M to lose in order to make the SEC championship game. That would help his case if he plays in that.
All right. So the old heads are probably heated about that email because they love sending in their ballots early.
Probably. I'm like, you should be able to remember in that 48-hour period that you should vote. And you should take into consideration what we see that Saturday.
Yeah.
You want to make a pick on this one?
Yeah, I'm picking Georgia. I'm picking them to cover in this game. As I said, they feel as dangerous as anybody in college football right now. I think Kirby's gotten exactly what he wants his team to look like at the end of the year.
I am with you as well. Georgia to cover. It's November, championship football time, and Georgia is playing championship football. So I will take them to cover as well. Let's